Okay, so in this one, we are going to use your protractor and your compass to make a segment bisector, more specifically a perpendicular bisector. Now, as in all assignments, you're going to hold your paper landscape mode or horizontal, not vertical. Okay, so take the long edge here and you're going to make a box, and you're going to put your first and last name here. You're going to put the date here, and you're going to put your class period here. Then across the center in the top, we're going to make a title box, and you're going to call this perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular bisector. In case you can't read my writing, that's PERPENDICULAR, then bisector, BISECTOR. And somewhere in the middle of your paper, so this is what I have left, so somewhere in your middle, make a line. It can be, you know, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches long, it doesn't matter, but you don't want it too small. I wouldn't go any bigger than 5. And just a line like that. And mine is, you don't need to measure it, but I'm going to show you mine. Mine's about 3.5. Okay. And you're going to put endpoints on it so we can indicate that it's a segment rather than a line. If we had had a line, let me get a piece of scratch paper here. If I had made a line in geometry, we need to make sure we're certain of our terms. A line would have to have arrows because a line goes forever. But we're not, so we want a line segment. And label the left side A, the right side B. And we're going to cut this line in half. So, like I said, we are at about almost exactly 3.5 inches. So we're going to cut this line exactly in half, and that's the bisector part. The perpendicular means that the line we have that cuts it in half is going to be perpendicular. So it's going to be line somewhere around here, but I don't know exactly how. I mean, I don't have much to go on to make it straight. So using your compass, set your compass width to something beyond half of this. So this would be about half. So go maybe like 3/4 of the distance. You know, 2/3 something. You don't want to go all the way because that might be too big and might run into problems. So 3/4 is sufficient. You can experiment with sizes once you know what we're doing. So this is good. So here's about halfway. That's about the halfway mark. And so I'm going half again, which makes it 3/4. Half plus half of half is half plus 1/4. Anyway, all right. So then you're going to take the center part of your compass, the part that establishes the center of our circle, and put it on one end point, doesn't matter where you start, and make an arc just somewhere out here above. Okay, just there, really light. And then you're going to go on the other side to A, and you're going to make a line that crosses, and you're going to make an arc that crosses that one. Now, see, if I had changed the length of my compass, it may not have reached there. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom, make a light mark, and then switch it over to A, and be careful not to change your compass, and make a mark there. Now, I have guaranteed that the distance from B to this intersection is the same in here, and also with A, it's the same. Now with your, well, and we need to, let's darken these intersections here, and we'll label these points. So this point we'll call C, this point we will call D. With your straight edge, you're going to connect these two. And a little tip is when you're drawing straight lines with lines with a straight edge, put your pencil down first, and then hold it firm, and then slide your straight edge over to it. Until it taps it. Don't push hard. Everything in this kind of stuff, lighter is better. You don't need it super dark. But push it up against that, and then you're going to rotate the straight edge until it lines up with that other point, and then I'm going to double check, put my pencil here, and then just go lightly up till that one. So I have this line is now guaranteed to be a perpendicular bisector. The distance from here to here is the same because that's my curve. The distance from here, B, point B to C, is the same. And this is now perpendicular, and we indicate that with a right angle mark. And it cuts this segment here, AB, into 2 equal parts. From A to the center is exactly the same as the center to B. And we should label this center, we'll label it point P, and we can test our results. What did we say? Our whole line was about 3.5 inches. And if I look here, it goes from 0 to about 1 3/4, which is exactly half of 3.5. Then I measure this, and this is from 0 to 1 3/4. Now there are some differences in pencil thickness and how close did I get to that dot. I could have been off a little bit. It looks like this one might be just a little bit left of that dot. If I were to zoom in, let's see, can I do that? You can see that my line might have been just a little bit, oh, my thing is fading. Anyway, you can see that it's a little bit left, but that's okay. Everything's inaccurate when you draw, but for all intents and purposes, that is exact. And now in geometry, a few more steps. The way we indicate that, for example, the measure of AP, and we indicate it like, see, where can I write that? I'll write the measure of line segment AP, put a little line over here, is exactly the same as the measure of BP. And it doesn't really matter if you put B or P first, but they're the same. And we say that these two segments are congruent, and we can show that by putting little tick marks on the line. So any line that has double marks, or I should say any segment that has double marks, is exactly the same length as the other. Now it just so happens that because we stopped our line here, and we guaranteed that this distance was the same, it also means that the line segment from P to D is exactly the same as from P to C. And although it's not the same as these two, I'm going to indicate with a different number of tick marks. So these two are the same, but not the same as these two. But these two are the same as each other, and these two are the same as each other. And let's just see what this one measures. This is, it looks like maybe 1 15/16. And this one up here would be about, if I can get my light on there, roughly the same, 1 15/16. So the whole line is almost 4 inches. So not the same as this one, but anyway. So this is the assignment. It is the perpendicular bisector. Once you have that, you could indicate a few other things. So maybe that the measure of CP is exactly the same as the measure of line segment DP. And this angle is 90 degrees. In fact, it's 90 degrees everywhere. And 4 90-degree angles makes 360, which we should know is a complete circle.